Well, good evening. I hope you've had a good day and that all are safe and well. This is the first of this week's music videos, and specifically I'm offering some hymns and songs related to the gospel lesson, the Good Shepherd passage from John 10. Up to now, I've tried several different ways of doing these, and today I'm trying yet another way. Here's the deal. I'm absolutely diligent about making sure I only post copyright-free material. And yet, despite my best efforts to make certain that the tune, the lyrics, the arrangement, and the recording, the soundtrack, all of them are in public domain, YouTube has issued copyright claims on a dozen or so of them. As I see it, I have two possible responses. I can choose, as I've done, to contest each of those copyright claims, or I can let them stand. There are drawbacks to each of these approaches. Contesting the claim requires that I spend on average about an hour reviewing my research, documenting all of it, and then wordsmithing an argument that a music publisher might find persuasive that this piece really does not belong to them. It is the publisher who gets the final say, so I want to make sure my argument is going to be both accurate and persuasive. Now, the other approach is just to shrug and say it doesn't matter. But it does matter for at least a couple of reasons. First, those publishers don't deserve any ad revenue generated by what they don't own. Second, I don't want to give anyone any impression that I'm disregarding copyright law. Now, if I just shrug it off, say, okay, you issued a copyright claim, I don't think that that's good. I don't think it's good for a Christian to be cavalier about copyright law. So, when I publish a piece here on YouTube with the lyrics and the soundtrack, it is going to be a piece that the lyrics are demonstrably public domain, the tune is demonstrably public domain, the arrangement is demonstrably public domain, and the soundtrack has been released to the public as well by an artist who's done an original recording of that public domain work. But spending a lot of time fighting these copyright claims doesn't seem to me to be good stewardship of the most limited of our resources, our time. In giving the rate at which YouTube is imposing these copyright claims, I'm starting to think maybe I should do fewer of those kinds of hymn presentations. So this video is going to be just a bit different. For this one, I'm going to offer the lyrics where I can. There are a few of them that I can't. And I'll point you to some recordings of the hymn. And, some will be performance recordings, some will be accompaniment soundtracks. I'll point you to them so that you can listen to them from my sources, and then it's not on my video. All of these links are going to be in the show notes below this video. YouTube will only let me put 5 links within the video. So I'm just going to put all of the links down in the show notes rather than spend the extra time to try to generate those flags that you see right up there saying, you can go here for another video. Okay? So again, I'm going to invite you to offer your comments below the video. What hymns or songs come to mind for you as you consider Jesus' parable of the Good Shepherd in John chapter 10? So, with that introduction, here we go. The first one is one with which I grew up. a standard among members of the Church of the Nazarene. It's in our United Methodist hymn supplement called Worship and Song as number 3031. Now, we don't have that in our pews, but our choir does have it. And so it is one that they could do for us at some point. God leads us along. It has the first line, in shady green pastures, so rich and so sweet, God leads his dear children along. There's an obvious reference back to Psalm 23 and also to Jesus' parable, I believe. Now, I could not find a soundtrack for this one, but there is a performance track, again noted in the show notes below. The next one is a great upbeat song, possibly suitable for opening worship. A hymn by Fanny Crosby, To God Be the Glory, Great Things He Has Done. It's related to the gospel in that Jesus said, as the Good Shepherd, it was his task to lay down his life for the sheep. We find that theme in this song. This hymn is in the United Methodist Hymnal, number 98. If you want, you could pause the video here, open another tab with one of the links in the show notes, allow the tune to play, and you can come back here and use the lyrics. Those lyrics are posted. The third hymn is a good prayer hymn related to the gospel text. Savior, like a shepherd, lead us. Number 381 in our hymnal. Savior, like a shepherd, lead us. Much we need thy tender care. You know this one. It's a very well-known piece. Comes from the 1800s. And again, there's a performance track in the show notes. Somebody doing a performance of it. There's also a sing-along with Dean McIntyre track down there because it's in public domain. Another good prayer hymn related to the text might be For the Healing of the Nations. This would be one of our intercessory prayers for the world. It's number 428 in our hymnal, and if we were worshiping at our facility, we could use it easily. I cannot present the lyrics to you, though, because the lyrics are under copyright. The lyrics were written in 1965 by Fred Kahn, and Hope Publishing owns those lyrics. Hope Publishing does not own the tune, however. CWM Rhonda was written by John Hughes in 1907. It's in the public domain and widely used across the hymnals of various denominations and even for a variety of hymn titles. Top 4 hymns for this particular tune include Guide Me, O Thou Great Jehovah, God of Grace and God of Glory, a Christmas hymn, Angels from the Realms of Glory, and this hymn that I'm mentioning, For the Healing of the Nations. Again, you can watch a performance of it, or you can sing along with Dean McIntyre. The links are below. Always, we should ask ourselves, if this is the gospel, how then should we live? And so this next hymn could be a good closing hymn for worship, I think. Lord, whose love through humble service. It's number 581 in our hymnal. The lyrics were written by Albert Bailey in 1961. So once again, I cannot present those lyrics. They're under copyright, this time by Oxford University Press. But again, the tune is not. In our hymnal, this hymn uses a very well-known tune, widely used as a hymn tune. More than 50 different hymns are set to it across hymnals of a variety of denominations. The hymn tune is not copyrighted. It's in public domain. But because the lyrics are copyrighted, you'll have to find them from another source, like our hymnal 581. Some of the other hymns that are set to this tune also include Come Ye Sinners Poor and Needy, As We Gather at Your Table. This is one of the alternate tunes for What a Friend We Have in Jesus. God Whose Giving Knows No Ending. Wash, O God, Your Sons and Daughters. This hymn tune is called Beach Spring, and it has been in public domain as it was written and published in 1844. Once again, I have performance tracks, and I have a sing-along with Dean track. So, again, I invite you to find those lyrics if you wish and sing along with Dean, or you can watch one of the performances. So, those are some of the hymns that I found that were suggested by today's gospel. What about you? What did you think? And enjoy. Hope you have a good evening. I will be back tomorrow with our first lesson, a reading from Acts. Have a good evening.